Okay, everyone. So I'm gonna tell or share my experience of getting Karened at work. All right, so about a week and a half ago, I work in the restaurant industry and we do delivery and to go. And this particular day, this woman orders food, she gets it for delivery, and we deliver it to the wrong address. And so she calls our store and she's calling and she's angry. At that time, we were working during dinner rush, and I had my I had my team members put her on hold because I couldn't quite get to her, and it took me no more than 5 minutes. And within that time, she called back 4 or 5 times, and I kept getting told she's angry. She's angry. I'm like, okay, so I got things situated and I go to the back office so I can like take the time to listen to this woman. And so I'm listening. So a lot of times, sorry. So a lot of times when a customer calls, when they're angry, I just let them go. I just let them run with their complaints and I listen to them. And I've heard so many complaints by this time that a lot of them are very repetitive. So I let them go and I listen to hear the keywords of how to fix the problems in their complaint. And so this lady's going on and on and on. And so she ends up repeating herself a couple times, and I do have to interject at some point to get this going. And goodness, she's one that like repeated herself at least 10 times, probably because she felt like she wasn't being heard out. But I don't like to be interrupted when I'm telling people my stories, so I try and extend the same to other people, but I realize some people need to be interrupted or else they're not going to stop talking. And she was one of those people. And so like I try and, you know, ask her a couple things to resolve it, and then she takes the conversation and she takes it into a whole new realm and she starts demanding answers to why. I'm like, hold on, let me go look in the system why her food's not delivered to the right address. And so I'm like, have to verify things. And then so she's getting so upset because she's felt like she's had to explain herself too many times at this point. And I'm sorry, if you want me to help you, you have to explain your side of the story to me. That's just the way it's gonna work. And it's pizza. It's not that difficult to fix. So as I'm listening to this lady, um, I'm formulating what I can fix. So I'm about to. I need to ask her. Well, do you want the same exact order? Remade, fresh, new, hot, delivered, and we'll deliver it to whichever address. But she's so angry that she is all over the place. And I'm trying to follow her, trying to please her with the good customer service I have, and I'm failing. And it's not my fault in the least. The only fault I really had to play in this is that I took this woman too seriously. But then I wouldn't have the story. So, anyways, so so when I tell her what happened, she can't handle it. She blows up on me, says that like she gave the right address, that why wasn't it changed in the system, blah 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 blah. And so I'm just like, oh God, what a shitstorm did I get myself into? So I try and reel her back, but there's no reeling this woman back. As hard as I may, I am not the I'm not up to this task of this woman. She was, goodness. I don't like saying cray cray, but she definitely fit that description. Definitely crazy. Now, crazy with, she had misplaced anger and she was blaming stuff on us and insulting us. And I even told her, like, ma'am, we are doing everything to do what we can to get your order right. Please do not respect me or my staff. And she's like, well, what about me? What? I just let her roll with it. Definitely a Karen. What about me? Where's my respect? If you open your spiritual eyes, woman, maybe you would see it, but obviously you're so closed down, you couldn't see respect staring at you in the face. And it's my pretty little face. Until I decided I was done with your disrespectful ass. So, that being said, so I pretty much gathered, I'm like, okay, I got your number. When, that happened, I wasn't expecting, well, maybe I should have expected that to happen, but I don't expect people to continue to be horrible people, even though they are horrible people. I have this Pollyanna mindset that everybody's going to grow up one day and we'll all be real adults one day. Instead of these Pinocchio wooden, I'm a real boy delusions. I'm a real girl. I'm a real woman. No, you ain't, bitch. She really pissed me off. So, as I'm trying to, like, get her order straight, she's all over the place, and then she decides, I'm coming down. Hold on. So, I don't get her order. So, she comes down, and she immediately walks into the restaurant. And we don't allow customers inside. We have a carry-out window in which we, slide the orders through. Well, I see this woman come in and I point for her I'm like, ma'am, you got to go outside. And I point for her to go outside. And I'm probably like, in like, oh my God, like frustrated mode, telling her, like, ma'am, I need you to go outside right now. Maybe that. But I don't know. Some people can't handle when, probably because we're a restaurant, they don't expect that behavior. So they can't handle it. God bless their little hearts. Anyway, so she goes outside. She doesn't have a problem with it. She immediately walks out. Cool. All right. No problem. So I go ahead and take her, and I'm gathering that it's that woman, but I don't know for sure yet. And then it is. And I'm making sure I'm the one that takes care of her because I don't want any of my team members have to deal with her disrespectful ass. So, I get her name and then, or I ask her what she needs. She's like, I want my food. Ma'am, we don't have your food made. What do you mean? You said it would take like 10 minutes. I'm like, you said to hold on. I'll be there. We never confirmed. And so she blows up on me and has a hissy fit. I can't communicate with her. So she's trying to order or tell me what. I'm like, ma'am, I need you to call on the phone or put the order through the internet. We can't do it through this window. The reason being is we don't have our computer right at the window. We have to. It's a pain in the ass to talk through that window, which that woman should probably understood in that moment how difficult it was to understand each other. So she ends up calling, and she's still vile and she's still disrespecting me to the point where I decide this one's a lost cause. Why am I wasting my time? I hang up on her. I don't even give a shit anymore about, go somewhere else. We obviously cannot meet your demands, and we will never be right in your eyes. I've determined that just because we cannot communicate, because no matter what I say, I am to blame for everything that's wrong in your life in that moment. God, it was like horrible dealing with her. So then she's coming back to the window wanting her order, and I told her we didn't make it because we never confirmed it, and then I had everybody just like ignore her. And so then she's literally out there for an hour and a half demanding her food. One of my drivers came in and she's like, Tracy, this woman is, what is going on with her? What, like, she's calling you a bitch out there. And I told her, I was like, no, I know her. She would do everything she could to help you. She's not a bitch. And I, aw, like, warm fuzzies completely inside, with her defending me like that. And I straight up told her, I was like, yeah, it's because I am being a bitch towards her right now. She's a grown ass woman, not acting appropriately, throwing temper tantrums, and not speaking to me in a way that I can understand her. And so, my team member, she totally completely understood. And she's like, yeah, yeah. So, in the hour and a half, she emails my boss like 8 times with the piss poor service that we're giving her, not taking into the fact that she is making it harder for herself to get that picture perfect service from us. So my boss calls me and she's like, what's going on with this lady? Tell me what's up. So I give her my side of the story. And so we devise a way to, like, make it right for her. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna go back, listen to the conversations on the phone. But I'm like, I don't know why the address didn't get put in right. So then, my boss comes back later, and this woman's still outside bugging. Which is, I don't know anybody. And we're considered like a fast food establishment, like a gourmet fast food establishment, if you can call it that. But it's still good food. I still eat it to this day. No matter how long I've worked there, it's still good to me. But people don't normally stick around but maybe 5 minutes if they're not getting the food that they want in an establishment. Most people walk away because they really don't want the alternative to what their behavior had just, like, they don't want anything done to their food. But this lady is bound and determined to get food from us. And I'm bound and determined for her to act appropriate before I will give her the respect that she's demanding that she doesn't deserve. So then my boss comes back. And she listened to the phone call ordering. And the person forgot to verify the address. And so this spun this lady into craziness because it didn't get delivered to her house. And so then, we decided to give her like $40 credits, but, she didn't care. So she eventually ordered under a different name after an hour and a half and a different number. And then she comes to the window. I thought she was gone. And I'm like, yes, how can I help you? And I treat her like a brand new customer. Like, I wash water under the bridge, and I start brand new. Act like she's a brand new customer. So she tells me that, she ordered under this name. So I make sure everything's perfect in there because, that's just the way I am. I'm not going to give you any ammo to use against me. My mouth is enough for anybody to use against me. I'm not going to let my work ethic be used against me. So I make sure it's perfect, and I give it to her, and I'm like, how do you want... God, she blew up at this point. I'm like, how would you like to pay for this? And the only reason why I asked her that is because she put in a brand new order under a brand new name, under a brand new number. I have to act this way so that, like, anytime a customer pisses me off, I'm not carrying that energy to the next customer. So the next customer gets a renewed energy and everything starts on a brand new plate and they get the best for me. I try and give everybody the best for me if I can give it. But this lady's bothering me during dinner rush. I don't have it. I don't have the patience. I will do what I can to do the work properly and to satisfaction, but I don't know if this lady knows how to be satisfied. So I don't know if there is any satisfaction I could come to. So, that being said, so I asked her how she wanted to pay for this. Did she want to use the $40 credit? Because I'm letting her in, like, I'm not completely blind to your new ruse you put on me. And she's like aggravated and she blows up and she gives me $40. I'm like, okay, so I'll go pay with the $40. And I say something to Mo, I forget at this point, but it sets her off and she grabs one of the 20s and leaves me one of the 20s. And I'm like, okay. So I used the credit to pay for the rest of it. Or something. I don't remember what I did. But how I satisfied that order. And so, then the next day, well, my boss tells me that I did everything I could, that I knew how to. She didn't think I was doing anything wrong by her. But she sends this email out. And so the customer, this Karen, had, she's a, God, I think about how annoying she is. So she emailed my boss, and so she gave this email to the rest of us, well, managers. And she states in there, like, what went wrong. So, she wants to show us what this customer is complaining about and why it was an awful day for her. I'm pissed off reading this email. One, at my boss, because she pretty much takes the side of this woman, even though she knows this woman is completely bonkers. And I get why, because I know my boss for a long time, and she's not me. So, that being said, like, I don't know why anybody wouldn't be offended by this. So, she explains in the email that she listened to the call, the email, or the address wasn't verified. The lady explains in her email that she explains in the email that the address was a breach of security because whoever was at that address, she didn't want some of her information. I can understand that, but I didn't know that at the time. I don't know why it's not my problem. Anyways. So, the one thing that really irked me that my boss wrote, she said, that one small thing turned this lady's night into a nightmare. So, not verifying her dress is our fault, technically. But her night turning into nightmare, and, excuse me, she was not a lady. I know how to act like a lady, and I'm pretty sure she probably knows on an unangered night how to be a lady. She was not a lady. And we were the ones getting the nightmare that night. Don't get it twisted. That one small thing turned this lady's night into a nightmare. This one small statement is turning my mind into insanity. Because of the gaslighting that this insinuates. No, that lady is a grown-ass woman. She can order food appropriately like any other human being out there. She ain't special. And she ain't paying my bills with that. With that tantrum. Miss Karen, I know children who can order appropriately without demanding with tantrums like you did and expecting us to read your minds and the problems of your life. It is not our fault, and I'm not going to allow my team members to believe so either. That is completely ridiculous, and boss, you're completely ridiculous if you think I'm going to take it the way you think I should take it. I don't care. Customer's not always right, even though we will treat them like they're always right. They are not always right, and I'm not going to allow anybody... You've done lost your mind. Anyways, so I reread this email right before I turned on the camera. And I read it a week ago. It took me a couple days to read it because that lady really bugged the shit out of me. And I couldn't even get through it the second time because she was just completely ridiculous. And that wasn't even really about me in all intents and purposes. Anyways, I'm only gonna brush... I don't know if brush is the right word, but I'm only gonna pick out this part and I'm just gonna expand upon this. So, her email was really articulate for being as angry as she was. So I'm pretty sure this was written the next day, and I'm pretty sure she probably did some self-reflection in the time of the incident at work. So she starts off owning her bad actions, her bad behaviors, and she recognized that she made herself look like an idiot outside. And she even admitted that she owes me an apology, and I was like, oh, okay. Maybe it is worthwhile for me to read this. Maybe I'm completely judging this woman. I'm not completely misjudging her, by the way. So, after she gets over the good side of her and I start liking her and, start seeing the human that she is, she starts saying that she claims some things. So, I'm going to read pretty close word to word. She claims she supports women, restaurants, essential workers, who are often taking the brunt end of the stress of the world. Especially now, and I'm quoting her now, and I know for certain they, in parentheses, women, essential workers, anyone in food and service and hospitality, in quotes, or in parentheses. I know for certain they are not paid equivocally to their efforts and abilities. With that said, I need to bring to your attention the problem that caused this to happen in the first place. And then she goes on blaming us for her breach of security of her information getting out, which was not our responsibility, by the way. I don't know if it really mattered I don't know. I don't know your situation. I don't know if the people who got your information really even cared, or if they threw it away, or even got the pizza. It was left outside for all I know. Um, but we did not deserve your Karen behavior. And we don't deserve your piss poor email, even though it's very articulate and well written. Um, which might be a blindside for my boss, taking the customer's word and continuing the blame on us. But you certainly do not respect essential workers when you have to act worse than a 5-year-old throwing temper tantrums for food. I don't know anybody that waits around acting like that for more than 5 minutes because they don't trust that their food is going to be handled right because they were the jackass. But you're above that, and you expect us to treat you perfectly, even though we're supposed to know your security reasons, security needs, like, I have a lot of not good words for this woman. And women, you certainly didn't respect me, honey. You certainly didn't try to understand me. And to, I don't know if I can go much further without just ripping you to shreds right now. Because I don't buy your bullshit. And I'm not going to allow anybody to buy your bullshit. So, I don't really feel like going much over about this lady's problem because she is a human being. And I'm not here to destroy the human being within this Karen character. I'm here to transform the human being into relinquishing that Karen character because it ain't a pretty look. And I don't think she's happy with herself, to be all honest. When you blame other people's for your actions, you cannot be in a good place. And so God bless you, woman. You need God right now as far as my assessment goes. But hey, hopefully you will, and probably by the time we ever meet again, you'll completely understand everything that I'm saying in this video. So good luck with your life, and God bless it, because you need it, and you don't need my blessing. It won't be a blessing, it'll be a curse, honey. That's all I gotta say. So, she really had a problem with the way I pointed her out the door. She thought I was gonna get physical with her. Miss Karen, there is no way I would have touched you with a 10-foot pole. I would call the police first before I would ever get physical with you, because you're not worth it. You're just going to be a blip of my memory once I'm done with this video. So, you don't have to worry about me harming you physically. That will never happen. And, just because you don't like the way I told you to get out of my store because you didn't pay attention to the signs we had up saying that are you or are you not a grown-ass woman? I mean, like, seriously, like. So then she ends the email by saying, I could have spent my time better working on my projects than having to get food from this place. And to that, Miss Karen, it was a choice. You didn't have to stay and try and get food from us, especially when we weren't even meeting any standard of your liking. So we could have done without you being there. So bye, Felicia. I'm so glad you don't want our food anymore. I'm so glad you don't want our business anymore. I'm so glad that we don't need you. But thank you for entering in my life, because when I read your email, I really felt like I got a better deal than any of my other team members would have. I don't know if the males would have gotten, I don't know if you would try to like get them fired, or if you would have called the police on one of my non-white team members. I'm certainly glad I was the one that dealt with you and saw you for who you are, and to remind me of what I never want to be again. A raging bitch that doesn't know how to control her emotions around strangers when she's hungry. There are a million other restaurants out there, especially in San Diego. You didn't need our food. You didn't need to bother my boss, and you didn't need to blame us for everything that was going on with you. I am viscerally affected by mental illness. My whole family is. And I know the pain that is carried when you act like this, Karen. I know the embarrassment that comes along, and I know the self-hating patterns. And when you don't take ownership of your own actions, you continue to act like this towards other people, and you never get better. Thank you for helping me see the other side that keeps hidden because you never want to get over yourself. Grow the fuck up. Anyways, I got Karen at work.